But what I do know is, whatever happens, there will be blood. That's one thing you can always expect in the Middle East. There will be blood. So, Netanyahu has made it very clear, and he has made this very clear to his hardline allies, that he is not going to honor the peace treaty. This is what he has said. And listen, Haaretz, this website, God bless them. These are the best people in Israel. I ain't gonna lie. They are. This is to me, this is the salt of the earth in Israel. The people who run this website, because Haaretz provides such valuable information for people who want to understand what's happening in Israel. They're so damn good, guys. I bought my subscription yesterday. I just said, you know what? I look at this website every day. I'm just gonna get myself a subscription. That way I can get full access, and not have to worry about paywalls or anything like that. What's up, 117 Rebel? So it says here, what did you miss? No, we're still on the first topic here. So it says here that President Trump and his envoy refused to let Netanyahu's games and excuses delay the signing of a ceasefire deal that would free the hostages and end the Gaza war. So very, very interesting stuff, right? So Netanyahu the guy was teasing Biden for over a year. Biden said, I want to make a peace treaty. I want to make a ceasefire agreement between Gaza and Israel. And Israel said, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll agree. Yeah, we'll agree. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. And they kept not doing it. And they would say, oh, yeah, we like the deal. Then they would say, I really don't like the deal. Oh, my God. And I said this last year. I said Netanyahu was acting just like the Iranians did when they were toying with Carter, while they were making deals with the Reagan circle, with Reagan and his circle. And the deal was that Carter would get played with. In other words, they would pretend to be on the verge of agreeing to release the hostages, but then they would tell Carter, yeah, we're going to release the hostages, and then they would rescind, and they would do that to make Carter look weak, and they would keep the hostages until Reagan entered office. And in turn, the Iranians would be allowed to do arms deals with the Israelis and the Americans. So Naughton, he was acting like he was about to agree with Biden's proposal, yada, 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 and all this stuff. And then he would say, no, I'm not interested, or no, the deal's not good. And he would just play with Biden. He wasn't riding with Biden, he was playing with Biden. And then what happened? Right before Trump enters office, Steve Witkoff is in Doha, Qatar. He calls up Netanyahu's buddies, and he says, I'm coming over right now, and we're going to have this damn friggin' meeting. And they said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's going to be on the Sabbath day. Mr. Netanyahu is resting for the Sabbath. And Mr. Witkoff said, I don't give a damn. You can go play with your dreidels at another time. I am coming over, damn it. And he came over. And Naughton had to tell the rabbi, sayonara, he went to Steve Witkoff. Why? Because you could say, well, they respect Trump more, or you could say, well, because they believe, and this is what I think the case is, they believe that they can get a better deal under Trump. I think that's probably the most practical guess, or the most practical observation that one can make about this whole thing. So they make this deal, and right now we are on phase 1 of the ceasefire plan. They have not made any agreement on phase 2, because phase 2 is where things get really icky. Phase 2, if it is agreed upon by both belligerents, will see the full military withdrawal out of Gaza. So the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. And Mr. Smotrich has said, Naughton, and Smotrich is one of the hardliners in the Knesset, he said, Naughton, if you agree with phase 2, I am out of your coalition. Ben-Gvir has already left. He said, I'm out. As soon as they agreed on phase 1, he said, I'm out. Now, right now, we're in phase 1. Phase 1 is some Palestinian prisoners will be released, or a lot of Palestinian prisoners will be released. Some Israeli hostages will be released. And then Israeli forces will withdraw to the edges of Gaza. So right now, we're on phase 1. Phase 1 has not ended yet, and I think phase 1 is going to be prolonged. So we have yet to see if phase 2 is going to be agreed upon. Netanyahu told his people, Smotrich and his gang, I'm not going to honor the ceasefire. Is that true? Probably. I can totally foresee Israel breaking the ceasefire or doing something. Or maybe Hamas will fire a rocket, or hell, maybe Israel will fire a rocket and then say that it was Hamas. But I can totally see Israel just wanting this ceasefire thing to just break apart, fall apart. But, and I must add this is a big-ass but. Trump wants, and this is what we have been told, again, this could be nonsense, but Trump wants Israel and Saudi Arabia to deepen security ties. Well, if those security ties are going to be deepened, then Israel is going to have to play a certain game. Again, this could all be whatever. We don't know the future. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm just making observations based on what the news is saying. So it says here that President Trump and his envoy refused to let Netanyahu's games and excuses delay the signing of a ceasefire deal that would free the hostages and end the Gaza war. But Netanyahu is still scheming to sink the deal, and with it, the hostages and Trump's wider Middle East agenda. So it says here that, but the same Netanyahu who eventually signed the agreement has been telling his domestic political allies that he has no intention of honoring and implementing it. And it says here that after one of the extremist messianic parties in his governing coalition quit because of the agreement, and another threatened to do so if the agreement is honored in full, Netanyahu promised both that the ceasefire he signed is only temporary and that soon enough he will order to renew the war. And by doing so, sacrifice the lives of about half of the living hostages currently held in Gaza. So the question is this ceasefire going to hold up? Is Donald Trump going to tell the Israelis, you guys better not do any shenanigans to ruin this ceasefire plan? Is the United States going to force Israel to honor a ceasefire plan in order to continue on with Trump's plan to deepen security ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel? We have yet to see. There's two different types of scenarios that could happen. One, the ceasefire is going to continue on and then normalization will continue. Or two, the war is going to resume within the near future, or it's going to happen. It's going to resume soon. Israelis and Gazans are going to kill each other. Israel is going to continue on butchering thousands of people. And then Saudi Arabia is going to say no normalization talks. And then there's going to be a lot of trouble and a lot of hindrances to this plan of deepening security ties between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Or there might be a third scenario where something crazy happens and it's going to be completely beyond our ability to make predictions. Kids used to believe adults. Okay, what do you mean by that? Who's the adult? Who's the kid? It says here that this isn't some conspiracy theory spread by Netanyahu's opponents and critics. These are words coming directly from his own loyalists and supporters. On Sunday, while the vast majority of Israelis were celebrating the return of 3 brave women hostages, an achievement also celebrated by Trump, the Israeli pundit most affiliated with Netanyahu, Amit Segal, crashed the party. He announcing on television that he expects only 10 of the 94 hostages still in Gaza to be released before Netanyahu honors his promise to far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich and renew the war. So this guy, Amit Segal, who is apparently very close to Netanyahu, he has said, listen, the hostages are not all the hostages are going to be released. Most of the hostages are going to remain in Gaza because Netanyahu wants to resume the bloodbath. So it's pretty bleak. Listen, this is my opinion. I think that no matter what happens, bloodshed is going to be resumed. Is that going to happen before Trump or before the U.S. can deepen security ties between Israel and Saudi Arabia? Is it going to happen after security ties are established? Is it going to happen after normalization? I don't know. But what I do know is, whatever happens, there will be blood. That's one thing you can always expect in the Middle East. There will be blood.